evening, everybody, and welcome to the APAT show. Happy Mother's Day, Leigh. Did you have a nice one?
Sunday, yes, lovely Sunday, yes, beautiful. Clocks have gone forward. It's all,
Yes,
yeah,
bit
it's
brighter.
all manic. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, been a good Sunday. Watch the quarterfinals over the weekend. Always nice when they're on and there's no other Premier League games as well. So that was all good as well. And yet now sat in ready for the conclusion of another Sunday splash on Grosvenor Poker on a Sunday night. We are creeping to two tables, Des. We are heading our way there. One short of that. We've got to just do a quick name check. We'll talk, but there is only one, the double top 40, currently chip leader by a reasonable level. The man, the legend that is Steve 40 is currently chip leader. Unless there's a glitch on my lobby, it might be. Maybe there's a glitch on the lobby, but no, we've just bust at least one, if not two. So I think we're down to two tables now. So let me just double check with yeah, there is. I can see Steve on the left hand side there with 60 bigs. So in a good place. But yeah, all good. How about your good self? Had a good Sunday, I presume.
Yeah, it was a good one, Leigh. Went out to the park. I mean, it's nice to see the sun shining, and it did feel like I got a bit of colour on my face. Probably show a little more tomorrow, but it was a nice day out. That said, Sunday evening, we used to now. Finishing the weekend with a bit of APAT, bit of splashing around. Can't help it like that. And of course, we're doing a bit of raffling as well, Leigh. So you've got some stuff to tell us tonight, right?
We'll do another little giveaway. Last one for the Mediterranean Poker Party, because that's drawing tomorrow night. Still a huge value in that if you fancy getting involved in that one. But we'll do a little giveaway again for that. So let me look at the numbers. So we had 38 runners in the Sunday Splash tonight, making a prize pool of £174.80. We're paying top six are getting paid, Des. So let's have a look. What should we do then? So sixth place, min cash is £10.27. So let's do like we always do. Final table, we'll pay seventh and eighth out with a tenner's worth of Med Party Poker, a poker party even tickets. So everybody on the final table gets paid. So we'll do that to start with. And should we chuck some tickets up top as well for top three again? Should we do that?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do that. So we'll let's put what should we do? Let's do £20, 20, 30 and 40. Third, second and first. So so we'll do we'll add those tickets in. So top three places again, we'll add extra tickets in for the Med Poker Party draw tomorrow night. 20 tickets for third, 30 tickets for second, and 40 tickets for the winner tonight. Why not on the final one of these? And as I said, we'll pay out seventh and eighth as well. So all you need to do, if you're in one of those positions, seventh, eighth, or first, second, or third, is if I don't or haven't already called out to say I recognise who you are, just drop me a message and I will get those added to you. No hanging about though, because that draw is tomorrow night. This time, well, we'll have done it by this time tomorrow night. This time tomorrow night, Des and I will be booking our flights to Cyprus. When we've won, we've agreed whichever one of us wins, we'll take the other. That's what we've agreed, isn't it, Des? Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah, you said you'll drive us to the airport in your Ferrari. That was the deal. Yeah, that's what you said. So not
take across the APAT sort of 737 that we've seen in previous years.
Yeah, so not a problem whatsoever. So that's what we'll do. So yeah, so if you good luck if you're playing in this tonight and win some of those tickets, we'll get those added. But if you do want to get involved in it, no bother whatsoever. Head over to pokerraffles.com and you will see that there's actually an APAT draw up for next week as well, because actually this week's one's already sold out. So if you want to get in early for next week's one, there's already about 50 odd of the tickets already gone for that, and so we're not drawing that till a week tomorrow. Yeah, so if you want to get involved in that, do so. Head over and give it a whirl. And of course, in a week's time, we're drawing the Vegas winner. That is creeping ever closer to 10,000 tickets sold of the 15,000. We're not, we've been umming and ahhing whether we thought, will it sell out? Will it not sell out? I'm still not convinced we'll quite get there. But yeah, hey, hey, it's what we know on the 30th of March, so it's probably been pay weekend for some people. If you got a few quid lying around for April and wondering what you were going to do with it. Well, there's worse things you could do than buy a couple of tickets for the Vegas draw, and it might just be you who is heading off to Vegas this summer to play in the WSOP main event. $10,000 buy-in plus hotel at the Horseshoe for 2 people and flights for 2 as well. Well. And if it's an APAT winner, I mean, it's even. I mean, some people have said, "Oh, you're not putting more expenses on it, whatever." So, well, we're flying you and somebody else there. We're putting you and somebody else up in a hotel for a week, and we're putting you into the main event. Ultimately, if I won it, do you know what I'd do, Des? I'd go, all right, it's a 10,000 buy-in, right? Well, I could do with maybe 2 or 3 grand spending money and this, that, and the other.
Sell a bit, right?
So I'd sell a little bit. At spot, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be cheeky about it. I've won the package anyway, but I just give the APAC community a bit of a sweat if anyone was interested. And whatever I sold, and get a little bit back, and that's your pocket money. That's your spending money, then, isn't it? So for a week, good way to do it. That's unfortunately I can't win because I'm not allowed to buy tickets. But that's exactly what I would do with it. Is I would just go, do you know what? I'll sell a little bit at spot. None of the silly markups or anything like that. Just give it away at the spot for anyone that wanted a little piece of the action. And that's your spending money for 7 days covered. Yeah.
And to be honest, in any event, Lee, as you said, with the flights and the hotels for 2, your serious, your big expenses are covered. So you just
they are.
And Vegas is relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things if you kind of know where to go and if you're sensible. Obviously, if you want to go out there and sort of drink for a week, that's an entirely different situation, I would suggest.
Right, you're going to be playing the main event. That is for sure. So you are going to be going to be doing that, and obviously there is flexibility with that. So if you don't, for example, if you win it and you've got no friends or anyone you want to take with you, then obviously we'll look after you. We'll look after you for the difference on the second flight if we needed to, and all that malarkey. Not a bother whatsoever. As I say, we try and be as flexible as we can with these with these ones. It is a hotel booked at the Horseshoe for 7 nights, but obviously we can't book flights and stuff until we know who's winning it. So 3-way all in here: Ace 6 versus Ace 10 versus King 5. It's the Ace 10 that's in the best spot because it's got chips remaining, which is Star Sounder, and but it's Douglas Dew that gets the treble up. Well done to you, Brian.
Yeah,
and we're down to 14 very quickly. Yeah, Star Sounder has still got chips left, about 20 bigs, which is chunks still. I mean, double top 40 as adding to his stack. So when we came live, he had about 58 bigs. He's now currently sat on 74 bigs, and he's literally looks like he's got his foot to the floor here. Des, in his hybrid. Yeah, his hybrid motor. He's got his foot to the floor. And even if he runs out of electricity, he's gonna be able to click over to that petrol motor, and he's going to be able to keep going here because he's using that big stack. Just to give you an idea, so Steve has got currently 47,000 chips. Second place player is McLennox and Witcher and Trav Mint are all got similar stacks. They've got 17k each. So Steve is nearly he's got like 2.5 times anybody else at the moment, with 13 players remaining. So top 6 getting paid, but we're going to do a saver for 7th and 8th. So if you make it on the final table, finish 7th or 8th, we'll chuck you a tenner's worth of poker raffles tickets. And if you didn't catch what I said earlier on, top 3, we're going to put 20 tickets for 3rd, 30 tickets for 2nd, and 40 tickets for the winner, all into the Mediterranean poker party draw tomorrow night on poker raffles. So that's That's over 100 quid's worth of tickets we'll give out. Last one we're going to do because the draw is tomorrow night. So
fantastically. Well, listen,
good luck to anyone who's there.
Steve is out there, as you might expect, but he says, "Hey guys, sorry, very busy at the moment, can't talk." He then goes on to talk about Vegas, despite the fact that he said he couldn't talk. He said, as far as I'm assuming Vegas here. So I've already sold 500% of myself if I win the draw. So can't afford to cash, Lee. So he's gone out there desperately trying to lose it all on day one.
He's not the first player to ever have that predicament. Yeah, at least he's already thinking about it ahead of the game and is not planning on actually cashing, unlike previous people in that situation. Yeah, and unfortunately, but hey ho. But yeah, World Series is creeping round, which means the fantasy game is not going to be that far away. So we're only kind of 2 months. Well, it'll be the end of May. It all kicks off. So what will be about 8 weeks away now. So we'll look to get John and Carl or one or t'other on the show in the next couple of weeks and could check that. But of course, we're nearly in April, and that means we're APAT heading off to Newcastle for our next live event in the UK. End of April, we'll be at the Grosvenor from Friday the 25th of April to Sunday the 27th. So that'll be the next one in the UK, and obviously in a couple of next weekend is the German WCOAP team qualifier over in Ash. So yeah, look forward to hearing all about that, and hopefully Sandra and all the team over there will be having a whale of a time over the weekend. I know so that's how they qualify the team that gets to play for Germany. They run a completely separate thing. I mean, crikey, you listen to how we do it, and all the picking players and people applying and choosing what you do, and they just go, well, stick a tournament on, and if you win the tournament, you get to play. And I think they work at that tournament effectively funds the cost of the trip for the German team. So super way of doing it. Yeah, really, really good. So good luck to the guys over there next weekend in Ash. But then we will be, as I say, heading to Newcastle, the home of the Carabao Cup winners. Did you see them parading the trophy on the weekend, Des?
I missed that.
Did you miss it?
Nothing nefarious there. I just missed it.
I'll be honest, if you'd stuck the telly on, Des, you would thought you were back in the 40s or 50s or something, because it was the pictures were all in black and white, Des. They were all in black and white. It was ridiculous. It was a scene like you couldn't believe it. What was going on? It looked like one great big moving QR code. That's the best way to describe it.
That's a beautiful description. But Lee, joking aside, and while I didn't see it, I saw a couple of headlines that where Shearer talked about it being the best couple of weeks of his life, and everybody's over the moon, obviously. Doesn't it just show you the value of some of the smaller regional clubs winning the odd trinket or two?
It's about winning something. Do you see the Bournemouth managers? Obviously, they unfortunately didn't go for them today. Just three-way all in on the other table. Let me see if I can get across there. 9-8 versus Jack-8 versus Ace-Jack, and the Ace-Jack and Knob Donkey is completely smashed that up. So we've lost a player and left Skit Tech, who is Mike, on less than one big, who's put it all in very next hand. So we could very quickly be down to 11 here. But yeah, no, exactly that. Bournemouth manager came out and said, we're possibly fighting maybe for a Champions League spot, possibly if we can have a bit of a run. But he said, I'd have an FA Cup win over that. To win a trophy. That's what it's all about. And it's lovely. And actually the four, say no spoilers just in case anybody doesn't see the results for today. But I mean it's great to see, a bunch of teams in the semis that you wouldn't normally see in semi-finals of cups, and you certainly know that at least one of them is going to get to the final, and it's going to be it'll be a different face there for the first time. He's got there on the river. Mike has, and over on the other side, Star Sandra's all in with the Queens against the Aces of McLennox, and has hit a Queen on the river. And McLennox is down to less than 10 big, about 8 bigs now, and Star Sounder up to 40 bigs. Huge one there, Queens versus Aces, and the Queen hits on the river for Star Sounder. Don't recognise Star Sounder. We might have been told who Star Sounder is, but if you say if we're unsure on anybody here, do jump in the chat and let us know. Mike's all in very next hand with the King 3 up against King Queen of Guinness, and he's not going to get any help this time, unfortunately. So we'll lose Michael in. I think that was in 12th place. So we're down to 11 now. Let's give a quick name check for those that are left in. So we mentioned double top 40. So Steve 40 still in. Star Sounder second in chips. Knob Donkey's third. Guinness is fourth. Witcher is fifth. Trav Mint, John Murray is sixth. Number one, Poker Pops. David Amos is seventh. Noble Viking, who we do know who Noble Viking is. And I can't think off the top of my head, but I do know who Noble Viking is. I will come back to that in a second. Douglas Do is there, which is Brian. Renot Tony Ross is there. Ready Freddie Go is Wayne Parker, and McLennox is currently the short stack at this final two tables of 11 now. So right, Noble Viking was playing last week, and it's completely.
Well, you're going through your copious notes, Leigh, as I'm sure you are. The lovely Joe has joined us. Evening, Joe. We also said hello to Tony and Brian a little earlier in the stream, in addition to Steve. I know Tristan's out there as well, so if you are playing or watching, do say hello in the chat. Tell us what you want to talk about. Could be almost anything tonight, Leigh.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be following this all the way through to its conclusion, which normally is somewhere around just after 11 o'clock. Is normally so you've not got us for too long on a Sunday night. That is for sure. But say down to 11. But yeah, it'll be nice to see a little bit of different with the semi-finals. Anyway, for the FA Cup, and I didn't think I'd say the Forest Brighton game wasn't the greatest in the world, but everyone loves a penalty shootout, don't they? So that's always interesting. Palace looked quite dominant against Fulham. Really didn't give Fulham a look in, to say the least. And obviously Villa did the job against Preston today, which is quite comfortable with Marcus Rashford looking half decent against the Championship side. Read into that what you will. There's a huge article on the BBC about him finding his mojo back again. It's like, well,
I've seen him a few times, Leigh, and I saw him a couple of appearances for England and stuff, and maybe he does need to continue to get a bit of confidence back. But
I was really surprised. I was really surprised he got into that England squad. Not just got into the England squad, but started.
Well, I think
really surprised.
Tuchel will have thought.
Tuchel rates him. Yeah, I think he rates him.
When Rashford was tearing PSG apart back in Champions League quarterfinals or last 16 or whatever the heck it was, when he really played well, and this is going back a few years ago clearly, but I think Tuchel rates his power and his ability to run at players, and I think with a bit of confidence, you don't lose your ability, you just sometimes lose your confidence to.
I'm just surprised because there's a lot of good players in those positions at the moment that were really are playing well, and so I was quite surprised. But as I say, Tuchel knows the league pretty well, knows most of the players pretty well, so he's
Bloom and Henderson in there, Leigh. What did you make of that?
Well, that was bizarre.
So he's brought him back for leadership, or at least this is what he has overtly said. He wants him in the dressing room more than anything else.
Doesn't make a huge amount of sense that you're going to pick Jordan Henderson ahead of Morgan Gibbs-White.
He's done it.
Who's having a stellar season? Just bizarre.
Yeah, but he's done it.
Very strange, but
he's the England manager,
at the end of the day, it's England. I don't really care that much, to be honest. Did you see the end of the Welsh game last week? Goodness me.
Wales against
absolutely North Macedonia absolutely battered them, and they're on a good run. They've won 5 of the last 6 or something like that, I think. And absolutely battered them for the whole game, but couldn't score, just didn't really. So you'd say, okay, away from home, you'll take a 0-0. It's not the end of the world, it's a draw. The legend that is Joe Allen comes on the field. Obviously, you know Joe very well.
Indeed.
And plays the most
Messi, or what was his
plays the most ridiculous back pass imaginable. Completely ignores the fact that there's their striker there who goes on to scores a goal. This is in 90+1. Yeah. Right. We go down the other end, and somehow we managed to get the ball in the back of the net in 90+4 or 5 or something like that for a 1-1 draw. felt like a win. It was quality, absolute quality. 2,000 fans went out there to the Red Wall went out there to watch the boys, and it was thoroughly deserved actually. Brooks, the Bournemouth player, got the goal, but it was bundled. In the most ridiculous way you imagine. Kiefer Moore kind of got lobbed up, he handed it back, and he kind of it swung. The keeper had gone the wrong way. It went through a defender's legs and just bobbled into the corner of the net.
Wow. You take it,
but of course you do. So but it means Craig Bellamy is still unbeaten as Welsh coach.
He must be threatening those players with a golf club every training session.
But he's quietly just done his thing, and picked up his coaching badges and sat in a number of dugouts as kind of assistants to different people and whatever. And then the Welsh job, became available, and he's gone into that. And he seems to be putting together a very young squad. So a number of the older players are no longer there anymore. Obviously, Bale retired and that kind of but he's finding his way to bring a new bunch of players through. So all look and players that are playing well, week on week. So the likes of Nico Williams, who obviously you let go to Forest, but he's having a blinding season. Really playing well. So it's all good. Noble Viking is all in with 7-5 and come up against Douglas Dew's Ace 10. And 4 and a 6 on the flop was a nice flop to give the Viking out, but unfortunately not to be. And we are going to be down to 10, so just a couple off the final table now. Nice. Let me see who's our short stacks. It could be Tony Ross is our shortest stack at the moment. It's got 8 bigs, and then it's Dave Amos, number 1 Poker Pops, who's got just over 12. So they're the players in a little bit of danger. But I'd say there's Witcher and McLennox have got about 15, 16. So as Dave Amos is all in, is he going to get it past Steve 40, who is still our chip leader?
He's having a bit of a look here, isn't he?
Got chips, but it's still 20% of his stack if he wants to call it off. He's trying to get a tell. He's doing table chat. He's gone into his time bank. This is Hollywooding, isn't it? This is Hollywooding. Call it off, Steve.
Dave Amos is just no movement in Dave Amos at all, Lee.
If he knew
just
Dave Amos,
give nothing away.
Dave Amos doesn't put his chips in the middle if he hasn't got cards. He's not, he's not foolish. That's for sure. That is for sure.
And Steve's set to gaining those few chips straight back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. But really looking forward to tomorrow night, because it's going to be our biggest ever draw tomorrow night. The Cyprus draw, value wise. It's a $5,000.
Yes, it will.
$5,000 pot. And then we're going to break that record again in 7 days' time. Yeah. So, but yeah, we should, just because we've got Vegas in 8 days' time, we shouldn't forget that in a day's time, we will have our biggest ever draw value wise, which is the Cyprus package to the Mediterranean poker party. So it's entry into the Luxon Pay Grand Final, which is like $2,200 worth. It's 7 nights, all inclusive, hotel for 2 at the Merritt Park. They'll sort out your airport transfers for you as well in Cyprus, and you'll get $1,000 in cash, which we'll pay you in sterling, but basically it's $1,000 worth in cash, so you can book yourself some flights, and for either you or if you're going to take somebody with you, for the 2 of you. But yeah, pretty much you can get out there, and you don't, it's all inclusive, so you can just go and play the one poker tournament and chill out in the Cyprus sun for 7 days if you fancy it, in the middle of May. Entirely up to you, but it's going to be super value. I think we put 5,000 tickets up. I think we've sold nearly 2,000 at the moment. We'll sell a few more tomorrow on draw day, as we always do, but yeah, it's going to be super value for anyone who has got tickets, whether you've picked them up with some of the freebies we're doing this evening, or whether you've just gone and said, yeah, I'll buy some tickets for that. It's going to be great value for whoever is lucky enough to win it, and the whole event out there. If you don't follow Rob Young on well, X used to be Twitter, because obviously his guys manage this event, and yeah, you see some of the videos up there about the stuff that's going on over there in Cyprus. So it's a stunning venue, really is very impressive.
Great venue, and it'll be a top tournament. Lots of big names there, I'm sure, and of course a huge prize pool. And as Leigh said, the thought of that, sun lounger by the pool in the Cyprus sun. Thank you very much. A couple of days of that would go down very, very nicely. That would be my view. Steve has come back, Leigh. He said, no Hollywood. Knew it was Dave Amos. He said, folded kings. Couple of kings.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Couple of kings, Leigh.
Yeah, of course he did.
I don't think so. I don't think he folded.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Not in the slightest. Yeah, I'm not convinced. I reckon it might have been something like a 10 jack suited or something like that, maybe, or a queen 10 suited, and he's like, yeah, and he's quite fancying it, thinking, I could be, I might have live cards and I could bust him out, and yeah. I think it's that.
Might have been
that
even worse
thing.
than that, Leigh. I have to say. But listen, the Oracle has slipped into our chat, and he says, "Evening to you, Simon. What a good weekend so far for Simon, right? We can't give any spoilers away, but if you're a football fan and you've watched the stream, you know what that means.
I think I pretty much already spoiled most of that.
You've splurged. You've splurged that news all over.
If you've not watched that by now, goodness me, you're seriously saying you've not watched any of the FA Cup quarterfinals and you're waiting till, I don't know, what match of the day 3 or whatever it is on a Sunday night. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Sai goes on to say, thank you for the freebie tickets, Leigh Des. Amazing. So what did you say, Leigh? £100 worth of freebie tickets attached to this tonight. A couple of savers and
no, Simon will be talking about. So I did the draw for the ones I did on my Facebook thread on Wednesday. So there were 5. So there were 5 winners of that. I can't even remember who they were. But hang on, let me go and find out who it was. But Simon was very much one of them. So yeah, he was. I can't think off the top of my head who the other ones, but they all got a tenner's worth of tickets for just sharing and tagging who they'd to carry their bags. Simon Lawler chose Steve Forty to carry his bags, so which I thought was a beautiful thing. Really, really beautiful.
Speaking of Steve Lee, he says he can send a photoshopped screen shot through if you wish to see one. He had those kings.
Yeah. Not a problem whatsoever. Yeah, we can do that. So yeah, good luck in the draw tomorrow night, Simon. You can just imagine Simon sat in Cyprus for 7 days by the pool, sipping pina coladas. I'd be honest, it's a no limit hold'em poker tournament. I think he might not even. He just decide not to play that. He'd rather just sit by the pool, enjoy the pool parties and all that all that malarkey. I could just see Simon doing that.
I don't want to get into an uncomfortable racial type discussion here, but I think Simon might be too white for Cyprus. I have to say. I mean, he could burn. He could absolutely sizzle out there, I think.
Well, yeah, but he'd look after himself under a knotted hanky. He'd be fine. Honestly, it wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't be a problem whatsoever. Yeah, but say somebody is going to get to win that tomorrow night. That is the guarantee. However many tickets we sell between now and then, somebody is winning that at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Well, actually, it'll be 9:05. I've put the draw to just 9:05, just so we can make sure we catch all the ones the last minute ones when we're live. So the draw will be open till 9:05 tomorrow night, and the same for the Vegas one the following Monday. But we'll do the very quick bit of admin to make sure everybody's in that should be in that we're expecting, which is nothing other than just sometimes we get orders that come in that sit pending, and we need to make sure that they've been pushed through and they're not going to miss out. So we always do a double check on that before we do the draws. But mostly they say they're sold out, so it's not an issue, as the APAT one already is for this week. So we've got an APAT draw tomorrow night as well. So see who, obviously, for those of you that have been watching the draw the last couple of weeks, you know that is now known as the Darren Smith draw. Yeah. So yeah. So if your name's not Smith, you're not going to win. Yeah. So as it's been a ridiculous, ridiculous run. Not just Darren actually, because that will be
Leigh,
wouldn't be completely the case.
listen,
And just over on the other table, Ace King versus tens. It's the Ace King of Tony Ross, but wow, Guinness has flopped a 10. Oh,
wow.
Tony's only got there with four clubs on the board. Wow.
Crikey.
Runner, keep it running, Tony. And Tony back up to 20 bigs. And now similar to what Guinness has got. Crikey, when the tens come in the window there, Guinness has got to just be thinking, well, that's
it's done.
I'm done. We're all good. Back on the other table, and Douglas Dew's aces are good through Star Sounder. So Brian gets a double up to 30 bigs. Getting a bit lively here now, Des. We're down to 10.
Yeah.
So we're still two off the final table.
Got to bite a bit. Leigh, listen, after the Vegas and Mediterranean draws, I was thinking we could maybe start a GoFundMe to buy Greenland. What's your thinking?
Is it worth it?
I think it is. I think it's a marketing campaign. I mean, you're going to have Trump, if we get away with buying the thing, just talking about APAT all over the place. Could be amazing.
I don't know. I think
He'll put tariffs, like a big poker table, Leigh, Greenland.
He'll put tariffs on us. That's what he'll do. He'll put tariffs on us. Yeah.
Tariffs on the medals, Leigh.
Is that what? Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
Yeah, we don't want that. Definitely not. It is interesting vibes. I mean, I'm hearing more and more people kind of going, oh, do you know, I might give the US a miss at the moment. You know, those that would go to Vegas every year are kind of thinking, maybe I just won't this summer. And even some people that kind of do Florida on a regular basis and that kind of thing are like, you know what, I'm not sure whether I'm fancying going over there at the moment. It's an interesting time. I don't know whether that's just, you know, see, I'm just picking up on those, and it's not, you know, it's not really a that big a trend. But I tend to trust my gut with this, and I think there are a lot of people that are kind of just going, well, maybe we'll just give the US a swerve this year and see whether it all settles down next year. Interesting one to say the least.
Yeah, certainly a little bit troubled over there right now, and it is very odd to see a leader of a country like America talking about, you know, we need to take over Greenland. So let's push for an independent Greenland, and then we'll do a deal with them. I mean, if you're
Star Sounder is all in with a 5-4 against the King Queen of the pretty much even stacks, and hits the 5 and Queen on the river for David Amos, and we're going to lose Star Sounder in 10th place, and they pretty much had. I mean, Dave had about half a big remaining when they were all in there, so they were pretty close stack wise. Star Sounder just bad timing, unfortunately. So they're going to go hand for hand as we're playing down to this final table. But that puts now number one Poker Pops on 27 bigs. So in a much better standing now. Is actually going to put him probably about third or fourth in the chip counts. Just got a hand playing out on the other table, which is done. So we should now be we're now properly on hand for hand.
So Steve,
it's actually put Dave Amos up to second actually. So yeah.
Steve's presumably still our chippy, Leigh, but
yeah, he is. Yeah, with 47 bigs,
fewer bigs, albeit he's still in great shape.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they are playing 500, 1,000 now. So pretty much the bigs they've got in front of them is pretty much the thousands of chips that they've got. We've got all in on the other table, which is Guinness, but I think that's going to get through. Just keeping an eye whether this one plays out. No, Guinness gets that one through on the other table, so it won't flick over. We'll just see whether McLennox does anything here against our chip leader. No, they're checking it down at the moment. So short stacks now is, I think it's ready, Freddie. Go, or is he bust? Oh no, he's bust. It's just my lobby is playing up. So Witcher is the short stack with 6 bigs. McLennox fires out a little bet there on the river, and double top 40 lets the kings go, because he'll have had kings again, Des, because that's the thing. Yeah.
Kings.
Steve's always got kings. Yeah, so Witcher is our short stack with 6 bigs, and is going to be in a hand here. Knob Donkey's just limped in on the button. There we go, and 3-9 king of spades. Guinness is in this hand as well, and they've all checked. Knob Donkey's bet out just under 2 bigs, and I mean that's half of Witcher's stack in the middle here now.
Well, he's pretty committed then, Leigh, I think, and we'll find out whether he's got it or not.
He isn't.
Wow.
Knob Donkey fires again, and Witcher lets it go. So he's now down to just over 3 bigs.
Well, I guess he had to have a pop, Leigh, but clearly felt he was behind.
Yeah. I mean, so effectively, this is the money bubble as well. To say we're going to pay, although we're paying top 6 on the on Grosvenor, we are going to pay 7th and 8th out in a tenner's worth of poker raffles tickets for the Med poker party draw tomorrow night. So you finish 7th and 8th, so everyone on the final table will get something this evening. But we are going to add about £100 worth in total, because we're going to pay out extra tickets for the top 3 as well. So.
Very nice. Leigh, as you know, I had the pleasure of being in Malta this week, I guess, for a few days with work. Rained the first day, horribly so, but it got quite nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it got quite nice by the end.
I think Jamie Carragher was out in Malta last week.
Hasn't his son agreed to play for Malta?
He did play for Malta in both the games.
Yeah. So he's made his impressive.
Yeah.
Good for
him. Do you know Jamie Carragher's son's name?
I don't. Oh, hold on. Cara.
It's really a lot of thought went into it.
No. It's what is it?
James.
So it's James. Okay. So like father, like son. Fair enough.
Yeah, sure. I only know this because they this week's episode of the Stick to Football, they were talking about it, because Malta is one of Gary Neville's favourite places to go on holiday, and they were having a bit of a story about hotel bookings and whatever. But Jamie was out there following his son, and then I think they played away to Poland in the midweek games. So he went. Then they flew up to Poland and watched the game up there as well. Apparently, he got Lewandowski's shirt as his centre back. So
cool.
super cool. Yeah. So yeah. So round we go. So Witcher's in the big blind here. We have kept this table open because just simply this is kind of where you're feeling this is where we're going to see the bit of action here to get us down to a final table. John Murray has limped in, and so both of them are going to see the flop. Witcher's got 2 bigs behind, and John makes it 1, and that's enough. Witcher really hanging on for this final table here, down to 2 bigs now. Poker Pops is all in on the other table and gets that through, although double top 40 shows a ace of hearts. But not enough. Raise from Knob Donkey then on the button. Are we going to see Witcher? No, Witcher doesn't get it in this time either. So we're going to be down to 1.4 bigs next hand. Meanwhile, Guinness and Knob Donkey are going to play this one out, checking it all the way down. We're hand for hand, so you're not missing anything on the other table at the moment. I'll flick over there for anything happens. I think they're all reasonably well stacked. So McLennox has got 21 bigs, Douglas Dew's got 22, number 1 Poker Pops has got 33, and the double top 40 has got 37. So that other table, Des, where most of the chips are. So then, to be honest, none of them really want to go too crazy with each other. They just want to get onto this final table and then see where they're at. Yeah. Ideally, last thing you want to do is anything silly here now, and especially when you've got, say, such a short stack on the other table. You just kind of to a certain extent just push the chips around, unless you absolutely walk into any monster hands. All you're going to do is hoover up a few blinds. So full week of Premier League games this week. So that'll be back. So if you're a fantasy football player, then you need to get yourself sorted by, I think it's about 6:15 on Tuesday evening. So you're just about going to have enough time to find out whether Haaland is properly injured or not, I would suggest.
Did he get injured towards the end of that game? Or?
Yeah. Which is all in with ace-7 against 9-4 of Knob Donkey and 4 for Knob Donkey, but ace is going to play with the 5 on the turn for the straight. So Witcher gets a double up. Yeah, ankle injury went sliding off the side of the pitch and into sort of off on and just twisted something. Went back on the pitch, but ended up having to get substituted. So. Which is all in again with the 10s versus the ace-3 of Travmint. Ace on the flop. It's going to need to be a 10, and it's not going to be. And we've got our final table.
Well done, folks.
There we go. And they playing on that one. Are they good? Excellent. Saves me having to change anything. Lovely. There we go then. So good luck to you all. You are our 8 remaining players, all going to be getting paid something. Top 6 are all going to get cash. But 7th and 8th will also pick up 10 poker raffles tickets for the Med poker party draw tomorrow night. And then we're going to add extra tickets for 1st, 2nd and 3rd, which I will go in more detail as we get to that position. Yeah. So Haaland, it might be says that he whether he'll be injured or not, we will have to wait and see.
Wowzer.
But it's just a parade for Liverpool to win the title anyway, isn't it? So we're just counting down the games. The Championship's got very exciting.
Has it?
Top three playing for two promotion places: Leeds, Sheffield United, and Burnley. And there is nothing between them now.
Wow.
There really isn't. Sheffield United went top on Friday night with a win against Coventry.
Yeah.
Burnley won 1-0 on Saturday, and then somebody got a late equaliser. It might have been Swansea against Leeds to make it 2-2 for Leeds. So I think there's maybe a point between them now, something like that. I have to double check, but there is not a huge amount between them now. It's Sheffield United now on 83, Leeds are on 81, Burnley are on 81. So two points covering the top 3 places with 7 games to go.
That is pretty tight.
Pretty tight. And the trouble you've got there is that the team that misses out and will finish 3rd because they're like 9 points ahead of Sunderland, who are currently 4th. So that they're going to probably be the top 3, I would imagine. Although to be fair to Sunderland are 13 points ahead of Coventry in 5th. There's a real battle for the remaining 2 playoff places. Yeah. But you tend to find it's the team that's got a bit of momentum in those playoff games that it's very tough if you're the 3rd place team that have missed out on a straight promotion, to then mentally be able to go, all right, we need to go again and play semi-finals, the playoff, and then the final. Really tough to do.
Yeah, it is tough, Lee. But we will see, right? We will see. Lee, I've got an interesting one for you. Have I got an interesting one? I haven't. I will do. I'm going to put something up on screen for you to...
So Simon said, what Leeds to end up 3rd and then lose playoff final to Borough? Nice. Ace-4 for Douglas Dew against the King-9 of McLennox, and 8-5-6-7 is quite a nice first full card for McLennox. So even though there's an 8 on the river for Douglas Dew, unlucky to you, Brian, you've got 0.27 bigs remaining. I'm guessing they're going in this hand. Yes, they are very difficult to fold. So Brian is going to be all in for his tournament life. Already got a raise pre from the double pair. And well, Jack 7, you're up against Ace Jack and an ace on the flop. You're going to need some serious help. We're going to lose Brian in 8th place, but Brian, you can console yourself, my friend, with 10 tickets for the Med Poker Party draw tomorrow night. I will get those added into your Poker Raffles account in the next. Well, it won't be in the next 24 hours. It'll be quicker than that. If it's not this evening, it'll be first thing tomorrow morning. So we will get that sorted for you. And we are down to 7. So Renot, Tony Ross is now our short stack with 9.5 bigs. Then it's Knob Donkey and Guinness with 15 each. Yeah, a couple of horrible hands really there on that final table for you, Brian. Just needed one of those to go your way, and you would have very much been in the hunt for the cash tonight, but not to be this week.
Leigh, I've got an interesting one for you. I'm just going to put it up on screen here. So Matt Davenport, who we know, is a very successful player in the UK, put up a post a little earlier this month, so about a week ago, getting a bit old, people telling me how good I run when I'm down over 18 months, stroke 700 plus buy-ins from people who probably haven't done a fraction of that volume lifetime. Now, this kind of goes back to something that we've often said on the stream, right? And that is, it's not necessarily about the single result or indeed a couple of good results. It's always a case of, well, how much have you invested to get there? Does it surprise you that, given some of the results that Matt has had, that, he's down over that period of time? Is that standard?
So over what period are we talking about?
We're talking about 18 months was the post.
Okay. So the last 18 months. Okay. So it's pretty much most of 2024, end of 23, and the first couple of months of 2025. Okay. So you need to put it. So you need to put a little bit of context in there, first of all. And maybe Matt needs to understand this as well. The perception of people that are saying this, people telling him how good he runs. He won the National Poker League last year on Grosvenor. Yeah. Now that comes with a package and buy-ins and all that kind of thing, and he ended up top of the leaderboard. So the perception of a lot of people is going to be, wow, great, he must have successful. Done. Wow, he's the best. He's being lauded as the winner of the National Poker League, and how incredible is that? And him and Sinead are both traveling the world and playing games. There was a interview with them both on Poker News a couple of weeks ago, talking about UK's poker power couple and all this kind of. So that's the perception that is out there of them. Now, the reality is obviously something different. And to be honest, that's really honest of him to put that put that up. And it's not because we've often talked about this. But that's the reality of it is the perception. So these people that are saying that to me, you can't be annoyed with them, these people, because they don't know anything. They're only looking at what they've got in front of them, which is you were top of the National Poker League. You're in the media. Everyone's lauding your results. You're appearing on. I mean, I think even I joked last year with Matt and Cal. Do they just get moved from Grosvenor event to Grosvenor event in the live streaming boxes, and then they just reappear at a final table? Because they were just rocking up to they were, if they weren't in a final table photo, you were like, what's going on? So, but obviously, he's playing the absolute volume, and I think it's a really honest thing to put up there. But you've got to understand that you can't let that kind of thing worry you. If somebody thinks you run good, well, fine. It doesn't really matter what they think, to be honest. I think whether you choose to take that as a negative in your mindset of how you want to be about it is, that would be more worrying for me if you're letting those kind of things affect your game, because he's a very, very good player. and he knows exactly what he's doing. You know, and he's playing some serious volume live, and has hit the results. But ultimately, as we always say, you don't see the other side of it. There's no scorecard to show you how much it's cost you, and say very super honest of him to pop that up there and explain.
Well, it kind of make you wonder whether it's people berating him in some sort of fashion at the tables, or more your keyboard warriors from a distance. But somebody has apparently got under his skin. I guess a little bit of frustration.
It's a weird one because it can only you would only criticize somebody if you're running really good, if actually they're kind of getting lucky against you on a regular basis. I suppose the issue comes that if he's coming up against people that he doesn't play very often. Say for example, I've not sat at a table with Matt. So say I went and played a poker tournament and was sat at a table with Matt, and we get in a hand and he busts me and he got lucky to get there. I'm probably not just going to think, oh well, I'm going to think, oh well, if that's how he plays and he's got all these results, crikey, he must run really. So you could see how people could very easily, interpret it as being, oh, he just must run out really, really well, and he's, it's that, because you're not seeing the full information. But unfortunately, you can't let that kind of thing bother you. It's you've got to have a stronger mindset to it, to just be, well, it doesn't really matter what they think. Say, I've got no doubt he's a good player. People that I respect in the game tell me how good a player he is. As Guinness is all in with the ace-6 against the tens of number one Poker Pops, and Dave Amos is going to win that, and we are very quickly down to 5 on this final table. But I trust people's views on him. I've not played against him, but people rate his game, so I mean take that as the positive, I guess, out of it.
But I mean, people with anything about them in poker, will realise that run good can only get you so far. I mean, it can win you important hands. Maybe, just maybe, you run good in a tournament, but over the period of years, and Matt's been around for years, and has survived in this game for years. Run good is just a one of a number of factors. I'm sure it can't be significant.
I mean, the scary thing with it is the kind of numbers we're talking about. So if he's saying he's
700 plus,
he's
buy-ins.
saying, but ignore the 700 plus buy-ins. The bit here is you can very easily see how much he's won. In the last 18 months. That's kind of the point, is if you think that just this year alone, he's won 4, 5, 8, 14, 26, 30, 35 grand. 30 grand on Hendon Mob. That's just 2025. So we're what, 3 months in. Which the scary thing is not just the number of buy-ins, because if you're rocking up and playing every one of the Grosvenor events, there's pretty much an event literally every weekend, and within each of those events, you're probably playing 5, 6 tournaments. You might have 2 bullets on average in them, so you can easily get to 700 buy-ins across a 12, he's talking 18 months, so maybe 500 buy-ins a year. So 10 a week. That doesn't even seem remotely unreasonable to say this. But when you look at the amounts we must be talking about for that to be, because if you see, I'm scrolling down through now, his cashes in 2024 are nuts.
He's had some
that
great
volume.
Results. What's
volume-wise
overall win on Hendon Mob Leigh?
So his total live earnings is 2.2 million. His best live cash, this is dollars, $2.2 million. His best live cash is $150,000.
What was that event? Can you do just a sort by prize, and that will bring it to the top?
I don't think you can easily.
Oh, you can.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. we go. That was winning. Oh, what he won. He won the GUKPT main at the Goliath event in 2023. So
Okay,
for 116,000 pounds.
Oh, okay.
He's also had 10 years ago he had a 70,000 win.
Yeah.
In 2022 he had a 77,000 win, all at GUKPTs. He's had five wins of 70,000 or above. So
you can't do that through being lucky, Leigh. I mean, so therefore, I mean, again, I personally, I wouldn't even respond to those types of jibes if they're coming in my direction if I have that type of record. But in any event, some frustration seen, a lot of good support shown by people who know Matt, in that thread, as you'd expect.
Yeah, no, it's the right thing to do. Funnily enough, so say Tristan's in the chat and saying yes. So we funnily enough, we were discussing this subject in a more general way rather than necessarily, but we were just curious at the leaderboards and thinking, well, what do you need? What do you need bankroll wise to be able to to give that a shot? That was I think that was a discussion taking place at the bar in Dust Till Dawn at a recent APAT event, and trying to work at the numbers out to try and say, well, what how much are you spending? As Trav minted all in with the ace queen against Knob Donkey's ace six. John's at risk, but he is going to be in a good place, and Knob Donkey is down to 3.3 bigs now, so we've still got 5 remaining. Our chip leader now though is McLennox, who has got 50 bigs. The double top 40, the wheels have slightly come off the hybrid cart, but we'll see whether he can get back on track. So we were working through the trying to work it out, and trying to work out what the situation is. But I think Simon raises some interesting points there, which is if he's really losing that much money, how are Grosvenor allowing? He's doing that for a living. Now, obviously, the reality of it is he's on a downswing in the last 18 months. Yeah, he is earned enough money playing over the 10 plus years that he will have been playing to be able to. Financially, it's not an issue. So I don't think that's necessarily the point. I think the point he's making is it's just a bit demoralizing when all you're hearing is people saying how good you run when you can actually be on a downswing, and obviously he is on a downswing. And it could be that it might be that he's not lost that much in the last 18 months, but what he's done, exactly. And you don't know whether he's including the. Was it 70,000? Was it whatever the package was that you got for playing this year? I don't know whether he's including that in those numbers. But to be honest, it's nobody's business really. The fact that he's openly
the point is,
put that up there,
I wouldn't have brought this up had he not actually published it himself on Facebook. I think that makes it an interesting topic.
I think you can delve into it a little bit too much. I think what you could. The discussion is more around the fact that, I can understand from his point of view. It is probably frustrating when all he's getting is people telling him how good he runs, because they're getting part of the information. They're not seeing the full picture, and he's probably not looking for any sympathy necessarily, because he's chosen to be a professional poker player and to try and beat the live tours in the UK, and has been hugely successful in his results. And only he can know whether it's a viable thing for him to want to do financially, for his own well-being, for his family, all of these things, as to whether it's something you want to do, moving forward. Only he can answer that.
And bear in mind, we're only getting a super limited look at these numbers. Okay, so Matt may well be talking about a situation there whereby his winnings are, let's say, they're equaling his expenses, so buy-ins, but also travel, accommodation. Maybe he gives himself an allowance that he wants to earn every month, for example, and that's included as well. So he's not profiting beyond what he might call his base P&L. So it certainly doesn't necessarily mean that he's losing in the period. I think it might be that he's not necessarily winning in the period.
It's really difficult because if you want to play those MPLs, and they don't get me wrong, they're great value and what they offer if you can play all the games. It's super cool what they can offer, but you pretty much do need to be away most weekends, and when you're not away playing either the Grosvenor or the 888 leagues or whichever ones it is, you're then probably rocking up at some of the other good stuff that's on that you want to play as well. I mean, I'd say I'm pretty sure both of them will be over in Vegas for the summer and over there playing because it's what they do doing it for a living now. So I fully get that. They were both at the Stars at the UK IPT earlier on this year up at Dusk Till Dawn. So I've no doubt that they'll go to anything where there's good value and it's worth them attending, and they can treat it as a bit of a break or whatever, and have a bit of a trip away as well. I mean, it's a lovely lifestyle, and I say I don't think for one second financially it's an issue for them because they wouldn't do it. I think it's more the fact that when he's having a bit of a downswing, it's just the perception, isn't it? That's all. That's all it boils down to. Which is we see that in our own little microcosm of APAT. You know, over the years, you've had players that have just been on an absolute heaters, and you kind of wonder how and why, and but you say it's nobody ever gets the full information of how much people are playing or what they're doing or what their lifestyle is or anything like that. It's they say you see a snapshot of a poker result. That's all you're actually seeing most of the time.
So clearly the only one.
I was going to say the other. I was going to say the other thing is, and even with a snapshot, so the Hendon Mob result shows you what you cashed for. It doesn't tell you how many times they bought into that, even that one tournament, let alone anything else they're playing that they don't even cash in. So it's not a true reflection, is it?
Yeah. And on the flip side, of course, there might be a ton of stuff that results are being achieved in that aren't carried in the Hendon Mob, cash games, etc. I guess the other one making money in Poker League is our Canadian friend with the 200 flags. I can't remember his name now.
I don't think Dominic is either. I don't think Dominic was either, to be honest.
But he is cashing a lot of events.
But again, it's. I don't think it works. I don't know many people that are poker players that could say that they're profitable in poker. I mean, I can comfortably tell you I am, but there's probably not many people that could actually say that they know for an absolute certainty that they're profitable in their poker lives. But
I think I can comfortably tell you I'm not. But my buy-in levels probably don't extend to 3 figures just yet.
No, absolutely not. Talking about single figures, we've got a couple of the guys here now very much in single figures when it comes to their big blinds. Knob Donkey's got 5 bigs. The double top chip leader for such a long time, Steve 40, has got 7 bigs remaining now. There are 2 short stacks here of this 5. Trav Mint, John Murray has got 14 bigs, and our 2 stacks now who are actually battling it out in this pot. This is a huge pot. 25 bigs in the middle here. Dave Amos is all in with Ace Jack. He's run into the King Queen of McLennox, who flopped the straight, and we're going to lose the second chip leader to the chip leader. Wow. I mean, that's pretty brutal for Dave Amos. He is going to finish in 5th place, unfortunately for him, picking up 13 quid on the back of that. That's brutal. But what we've now got here is McLennox has just got absolute chunks. So he's got 3 times the stacks of the other 3 combined. So it's absolutely dominating. He was just going to get his chips in. Ace Jack versus Queen 10 of Knob Donkey. First one to go here. And it's going to be another bust out. It is. So McLennox takes that Knob Donkey in 4th place. So we're down to 3. He's just going to hoover up. McLennox is just going to hoover up the remaining 2 here, I think.
Yeah. It's going to be
I think they've got it. They very much got to just be going to be aggressive here.
Guys, Simon is asking, did you guys watch any of the PLO MTTs on Poker Go this week? Can't say that I did, Leigh.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately. I don't have a poker. I've never purchased a Poker Go.
Every summer I'll do it for the
I know
World
you.
Series
I
of
know you
Poker
say
League.
you
Love
do
it.
for the World
Absolutely
Series,
love
but
it.
I just don't. I really don't have a huge amount of time to sit
Yeah. Well,
watching other people
I
play
don't
poker. I
either,
don't even have
but
time
I'll
for.
put it
I
on
don't
in the
even have time
background.
for me to. I don't even have time for me to play poker, let alone watch other people play poker. King 10 of double top against the Jack 7 of McLennox.
It's
You
a
know what's
jack.
coming. You know what's coming.
Wow.
McLennox, they are on an absolute
Wow.
roll. We're going to lose Steve 40 in third place, picking up £25. But Steve, I have positive news for you. 20 tickets for the Med Poker Party draw tomorrow night. I will get those into your account, my friend. And maybe Simon Lawler can carry your bags instead. Maybe. You're both in the draw now. So Simon got some from my Facebook giveaway earlier on in the week. You've now got some from playing the Sunday Splash on a Sunday night. So you're both going to be in the draw for tomorrow night. I genuinely, how great would that be? Just because the photos we'd get of them both by the pool, chilling out in Cyprus for 7 days, it'd be fantastic. So good luck.
Fantastic.
Good luck in the draw tomorrow night, Steve. We will get this in. But let's see who's going to.
Rich Baker says that John's looking well. Trav Mint.
Yeah, the op went very well.
He's got the Grecian 2000 in, Leigh.
So the op went very well, and Jeanette is now you must call her.
Steve's very appreciative. Thank you, Leigh. And that was unlucky.
Very welcome indeed.
In the PLO, apparently Dean Eggs had a massive upswing. Heads up. I think you'd need.
That feels like more
on that, wouldn't
we?
That
feels like it's some sort of euphemism, but I'm going to assume it's poker related. Yeah.
Is there any?
Let's see whether John Murray can actually do something here, because it's a huge chip deficit. What's it about? 6-1, is it something like that?
Hard to see this guy too long, Leigh.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, good player that John is and all, but yeah, this needs to be. We're going to play hard and fast here.
We are. I did say, we'll be going till sort of just after 11 o'clock. It's 20 to 11. We're going to be done before that, I think, with these two, I would imagine. Yeah.
Sai says Dean Eggs had 3 bigs and folded to a 3-bet.
Was that played out at the Poker Go studios? Do they do all of them there, or is it? I'm assuming it's at the. That's at the Aria, isn't it? In Vegas, they've got a whole setup there, haven't they? I think. Or it's next to the Aria, maybe. Yeah.
It's next to the Aria. Yeah, I would guess if it's a Medford TV thing, they'll have their wee studio. That's not too far away now, Leigh. What is it? Normally, crikey, the start of May, so sort of we start to see the casino employee event, and
it's towards the end of it's like last week. It's last week in May, I think it is. Yeah, last week in May. Yeah, Grosvenor have got some lovely packages. If you fancy going to Vegas, you can head out there between something like the 19th and the 26th, and play the Millionaire Maker out there. So 7 nights out in Vegas, hotel, staying at Paris, flights, bit of spending money. They run day ones all week, so you can do free roll into the £1, into the £5, into the 110 final. Get through the 110 final, it puts you into the day 2 on the Sunday night. To give you a rough idea, it's about tonight. I think it was something like 21 made it through, and there were 3 packages. So by the time you get to that day 2 on the Sunday night, it's about a 1 in 7. But you carry a stack through, so whatever you've got from your day 1 goes through. They're playing tonight it was 2 packages guaranteed. They got a 3rd package plus £1,900 for 4th place. So they're currently on the bubble at the moment. There is 5 of them left in it. Jabwok 33, Gambool, Lilydome, True Real Deal, and Next Door are currently all playing for 3 Vegas packages plus £1,900, and one of them is going to get nothing. But it would say 21 made it through to the Sunday. There'll be another one next Sunday, but you can work your way out through the satellites. If you can play one of the 110s, say you take your stack through like a day one into the day two, and then they pay it on a Sunday night. Starts at 8:30 on Grosvenor. You'll find it under the events tab. So we're there as well. Now, I think we're under partners, I think, on the events tab. You've got the Road to Vegas, and obviously they're still doing Irish Open stuff as well. So, say loads going on. John is whittling down stack-wise here, down to 8 bigs, and McLennox is foot to the floor, 5. John's got ace-9, though. It's good enough to get chips in, and we're going to chop it up.
Look at that.
Goodness me.
Crikey.
I mean, John was in a tricky spot, to be honest, because the Jack King 10 meant that his 9 might not even have played. But they chop it up with the flush on the board. So loads of really good stuff going on with Grosvenor at the moment. That's what we've just kind of held off our next leaderboards and stuff. They're all in again. Ace-8 versus the King 10. King 10 at risk. John's going to need to hit here. Going to need to be a king. And it's not going to be, and that is going to be that. McLennox takes down the win, and let's be honest, absolutely crushed that final table. So McLennox takes on the win, £66, and we'll get 40 tickets for tomorrow night if you just get in contact with me just to confirm that. John Murray finished second for 41, and we'll get £30 worth of tickets as well. I think John's already got a Poker Raffles account. If he's not, goodness knows why he hasn't, but we'll get that sorted for you, John, if necessary. And Steve Forty finished in third. We'll sort out 7th and 8th prizes as well, so they get their tickets as well, so nobody loses out on the final table. But all good. We'll do this all again next week. We could do some Vegas ones next week if you want.
Vegas ones, wow. Okay, let's see how we're fixed.
It'll be the day.
Let's see how we're fixed.
It'll be the day before the Vegas draw, so we could do a little cheeky. Well, assuming we've got any left. If we've got some left, we will. Yeah. We'll see what happens during the week. But we'll keep you posted on the Facebook group about all of that and let you know what the situation is. But yeah, cool. That's us wrapped with the Sunday Splash for another Sunday.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for joining in tonight. Tony says, thanks, guys. Thank you, Tony. Thanks, everyone. Have a smashing week. Leigh and I, of course, as we said earlier, we'll be back with the MPP draw on Poker Raffles tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Don't miss it. Somebody's going to get a smashing prize.
It's going to be ridiculous, isn't it?
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's just hope it's somebody we know, right? That would be incredible. What a sweat that will be for everyone. And of course, we're going to be back next Sunday night, splashing around again. Hope you can join us for that. And as Leigh said, quite possibly we'll put some, maybe some little Vegas incentives into that, because the following night,
we'll try and do something. If we can't do, if for any reason we can't do Sunday night for it, we'll do something. We'll put something in the APAT group during the week if we can't do Sunday night, because we'll just try and give a few away back to the APAT community before we do the draw. But as I say, it's selling out pretty quick. We're nearly 10,000 tickets sold for it, and there's only 50. Wow. There's only 15,000 in total. So those people that were hanging around, kind of waiting, I think maybe waiting for payday weekend, that kind of thing, I've now kind of gone, oh crikey, I better get the tickets I wanted to get. So we're starting to see a lot more. So if you are thinking of we're getting involved and wanted to do that for a week tomorrow night, I wouldn't leave it too late if I were you to just to get those you want. And hey, and it only needs one ticket. Oh, there's only one ticket's going to be the winner. You only need one. One is going to be the winner. But all good.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great week, and we shall see you when we next see you. Night.